It is the 26th of September 2019. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and in a short while we will be joined by Mugalu Mohammed. Let's get started right away with the details of the bulletin, starting off with Kadaga's CPC. The Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, has been praised for championing women leadership among the Commonwealth countries. This was during the opening ceremony of the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference that took place at Munyonyo and was presided over by the President of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni Kaguta.
The 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference has officially been opened at Munyonyo by its deputy patron, also President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
I welcome you, the members of the CPA, again to Uganda.
This year's conference themed adoption, engagement and evolution of parliaments in a rapidly changing Commonwealth attracted about 1,200 delegates from former colonies and territories of the British Protectorate. Up to 20 speakers and deputy speakers of national and provincial parliaments, as well as delegates, were in attendance, a bigger percentage of them women. While opening the conference, President Museveni commended the Speaker of Ugandan Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, who is also the President of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, for a job well done.
The Right Honourable Rebecca Kadaga has been doing a lot in our country. And through the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association networks over the years. These efforts must be the reason we are hosting the CPC in Kampala today.
The chairperson of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Emilia Monjowa, who is also the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Cameroon, described Kadaga as an inspiration to many women leaders under the Commonwealth.
Many of us have come in, we have entered, and there is still more space for women. Her strength and willingness to do so much come undoubtedly from your encouragement and goodwill of your government to encourage women and young girls to be at the forefront of decision-making in your country.
Monjowa says there cannot be development without the involvement of women.
Speaker Kadaga, I wish to thank you for being an inspiration to the younger generation of aspiring female politicians.
In her remarks, Speaker Rebecca Kadaga congratulated the Commonwealth women parliamentarians on making 30 years of great work, raising the voices of women in positions of authority, and for fostering gender mainstreaming in the membership and processes of legislatures. He thanked President Museveni for the support to CPA.
His Excellency Mr. Museveni, he has been a reliable partner to the Uganda Parliament because we have been able to host the CPA Africa region here in Uganda, the Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers in Uganda, the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians also came to Uganda, the 4th CPA Africa Youth Conference last year, but we are happy that we also hosted the Head of State Summit in 2007.
President Yoweri Museveni commended the support of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom, who is also the patron of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference.
When I met Her Majesty the Queen in 1987, I told her that the Commonwealth was an association of great potential. With a population of 2.4 billion people, it is the only international organization that I attend, and I do not have to put up with the inconvenience of translation through earphones.
Museveni called upon Commonwealth countries to peacefully work with all countries of the world, irrespective of their internal social systems, for mutual advantage and on the basis of respecting the sovereignty of each country. Bernard Yiga, UBC TV, Munyonyo.
You're welcome indeed.
Now, in the areas of by-election, tallying of the Hoima Municipality Women Member of Parliament by-election is on, and voting exercise will end at 4 p.m. In provisional results at the polling stations, NRM candidate Harriet Businje and FDC's Asinansi Nyakato seem to be neck-to-neck. Concluded results at the polling stations are sent to the district headquarters for tallying and will be announced. In Kisoro, stakeholders in the education sector have tasked the Ministry of Education to embed sign language into the secondary school curriculum in order to give room for the deaf community to complete their cycles of education. This was revealed in the ongoing Deaf Awareness Week, which was happening in Kisoro District, as we hear more.
St. Gertrude Vocational Girls Secondary School Thursday hosted its equivalent, Wakiso Secondary School of the Deaf, in a debate to create awareness of the deaf language.
Now, how can someone be able to effectively communicate?
The Kisoro district-based school was filled to capacity with several stakeholders from the education sector and district authorities. The debate, motioned as sign language is important to all, lasted for more than 5 hours and is part of the activities to mark the International Deaf Awareness Week happening in Kisoro. Both schools showcased several concerns about the need for government to support sign language at all levels.
Sign language, for one to effectively communicate, needs attention. One has to be able to attentively listen to what you're saying.
Sign language enables the people to get jobs. Take an example, the teachers, the lecturers.
The authorities of both schools agitate for government to embed sign language into the current secondary school curriculum to increase its awareness.
That they are as equally important as the hearing persons. So we should not deny them their rights. We should help them live like with the hearing. So I think it's very important that we build more vocational schools for the deaf students.
I would request the government to participate in building and constructing structures for the people who are the deaf, so that we incorporate them in our schools. For example, in this school, if we had a unit for the deaf, we would appreciate and we would welcome.
The Deaf Awareness Week will climax on Friday, 27th of September, 2019 in Kisoro District. Daniel Mugoya reporting for UBC.
Now, more refugees continue entering the country despite peaceful measures in both South Sudan and DR Congo. The districts of Ajumani and Ramo are the most affected, with friction for land and resources as the major causes. However, investment projects have been set up to benefit both the local communities and the refugees. Our reporter Eman Gabo just returned from the region and now reports.
A walk in the refugee hosting district of Ramo and Ajumani. One can easily notice blending of the locals and refugees who moved from South Sudan due to insurgency. since the outbreak of the conflict in 2013, Uganda has had an increase in the number of refugees in the northern part of the country, becoming the third largest refugee hosting country in the world. Little land for cultivation and scarce resources have caused friction between the refugees and locals. With the number of refugees and those seeking for asylum nearing 2 million, the UNDP is working closely with the refugee hosting communities to have a socio-economic recovery, cohesion and development services. In lieu of this, a 3-year, $9 million development project funded by Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, and the UNDP has been launched, focusing on the improvement of the economic empowerment of refugees and host communities in district of Adjumani, Obongi, and Ramo.
Basically what we are going to be doing is a couple of things. First, capacity building, which is very important for this project, training vocational skills, and making sure that we are looking at long-term goals of development, linking humanitarian work with development work. So that's pretty much one of the things that we are going to be doing. We are also going to be looking at employment, capacities and opportunities, looking at value addition processes in the agriculture sector. This is very much in line with the Vision 2040 and the current National Development Plan 3. So that's part of the things that we are going to be doing.
And we Koreans now wish to return what we owed to the international community. Well, that's what human beings are supposed to. And also, based on our own experience, we deeply sympathize with the sufferings and the challenges that the refugees and the hosted communities facing.
Special emphasis is on women and youths setting up development projects that can improve their livelihoods.
Emphasizing the issue of value for money, or the money going to the right beneficiaries for purposes of avoiding corruption. That's why I have appealed to all the players to ensure that they do the needful. The project is very clear. We are talking about giving skills to the people who are going to benefit. We are talking about economic empowerment. We are talking about giving them financial support in terms of credit, in terms of fighting gender-based violence.
The government of Uganda continues to grant refugee status on a prima facie basis. In line with the 2006 Refugee Act, refugees enjoy freedom of movement, the right to work and establish businesses, the right to documentation, and equal access to national services. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBC TV.
Now, climate change has taken a different dimension, calling for special intervention in conserving the environment. The Irish ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Williams Carlos, urged communities to form groups that work to conserve the environment.
Public awareness and working together with youth in conserving the environment will avert climate change. But notwithstanding, planting more trees and reducing cutting them down will conserve the ecosystem. The Irish ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Williams Carlos, points out that there must be a concerted effort on tree planting involving the public.
It's fantastic with the young population in Uganda. There's such energy, such innovativeness, and this brings everything together: green, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit.
On the other hand, the other alternative is to use renewable energy, where teams from renewable energy business incubators insist on involving youth in environmental conservation.
Startups and micro enterprises, especially on renewable energy. Our focus is on the youth and the women. Why the youth? Because the level of unemployment among the youth in Uganda.
Attention to the effects that are around us, make a difference, plant a tree, use less paper, use briquettes, don't cut down trees for charcoal. There are initiatives that we can take away and implement at a very personal level.
Meanwhile, groups engaging on environmental conservation have got skills to improve their livelihoods. But some group members who participated in the competitions say they are currently working on ways to adapt environmental conservation.
About domesticating the grass cutter, some of you call it the edible rat, and this is because in my area, one man would burn over 40 acres just looking for one gross cutter.
Our system has the aesthetic component added, where we have chosen a specific variety of locally available wetland flowers that will make the system look good in your backyard while performing the most important task, giving you water for your other activity.
Saving of the environment should be everyone's concern because future generations will benefit from such efforts. Kenneth Tanawa compiled this.
We now break off for a while, but do not go away. We do have business, international news and sports coming up after the break.
Smartphone from Airtel is back. It's bigger, better, and comes with 5 GB free data per month for 3 months. At only 200,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy fantastic features on the phone, like the face unlock feature, long battery life. Mwana, ka volume keko. Live your life in 4G with my first 4G smartphone at only 200,000 Uganda shillings and get free 5 GB data every month for 3 months. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, dial *175*9# to enjoy free data. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
333. What's up with number 3? It's 3 at Airtel and not 4 anymore. It's 3 shillings per second across all networks in Uganda.
Make calls from Airtel to all networks at 3 shillings per second. Get to talk to anyone on any network anytime at 3 shillings per second. Tuanzi Saze!
Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998. With a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda, we created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Welcome back. It's 19 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's time for business as we start off with what's happening or making headlines in the business world. Now, despite an increase of monthly prices of manufactured goods, that is between July and August 2019 by 0.2%, producer prices decreased by 2.6% for the year ended August 2019 from August 2018, and meanwhile average input prices for the whole construction sector decreased by 0.2% for the year ending August 2019. And then for the construction sector, prices of paint decreased by 0.5%, cement by 3.4% due to the competition by the new market players, and of course roofing sheets also decreased by 1.0%, and steel bars by 1.4% due to a squeezed market This was revealed at the 75th series of Producer Price Index and Construction Sector Indices for the period of August 2018, August 2019 by Uganda Bureau of Statistics.
Compared to August 2018 for the same basket of manufactured products and utilities.
The best headings are basically the material inputs that make up into the construction industry. And when we're costing this, we cost them to the most minimum definite unit. And this will include the timber, the paint, the PVC pipes, the bank bricks, the cement, the bitumen, the labor, the equipment, and the equipment hire out. So basically, the basket contains all items that we think are crucial into the construction industry as inputs.
Now, Uganda Airlines has officially received the 2 remaining aircraft from the Canadian manufacturer Bombardier at their headquarters in Mirabel, Canada. The planes were received by the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Works, Waiswabageya, together with Uganda Airlines Acting CEO Engineer Ephraim Bajenda. The planes are expected here early next month. The national scene, hundreds of men, women and children who have been maimed in the conflict and terrorist attacks in the war-plagued Afghanistan often visit the International Committee of the Red Cross Orthopedic Center in Lakshya. Now established in 2009, the Orthopedic Center in Lakshya, a city, provides artificial body parts to the people with war-related disability, and of course these are victims who approach this center for support.
Young boy who lost an arm and leg to a suicide bomb, and landmine victims of all ages. For almost 30 years, Italian physiotherapist Dr. Alberto Cairo has overseen rehabilitation efforts for amputees at several Red Cross clinics across Afghanistan. At this clinic in Kabul, there is never a quiet day.
We have registered and assisted almost 190,000 people. 40 years of war are not just a question of just fighting. The country, it's been destroyed in a way, it's been damaged so severely. The economy, the justice, the education, the health sector. So automatically everybody is suffering.
The clinic is a one-stop shop where most staff were once patients.
It has become in a way a kind of factory because we produce artificial limbs one after the other, and a kind of family because we know each other.
For cultural reasons, women are assisted in a separate unit by female staff. Needs and care are the same. Many people receive therapy for years. Anwar lost both legs to a landmine in Kabul 20 years ago. Today, he is doing physiotherapy with a new set of artificial limbs.
I spent some with the new ones. We solved all the problems with them. The doctors help out with everything. They work and they do a lot of work. I'm really happy with my doctors and their support.
Throughout the civil war, Taliban rule and the current conflict, these wards have kept their doors open.
In 1992, this hospital was hit by a rocket. Staff were evacuated, but Dr. Cairo was soon back, working here, but also driving ambulances across the front line to bring people who had lost limbs here for rehabilitation.
This month, the government granted Dr. Cairo Afghan citizenship. He says he is honoured by the gesture, but insists the real need is more donor funding.
There is a donor fatigue. There is a tendency now to forget Afghanistan. We are struggling, so we really hope in any way to be able to find money enough to continue, because without this program, for the disabled in Afghanistan, it would be a disaster.
The country and clinics like this one are now bracing themselves for an expected spike in violence during and after the presidential election held on Saturday.
Turning to sports, Kampala Capital City Authority FC team manager Mike Ray Mutebi is optimistic his team will negotiate Plaki Angola Petro de Luanda in the CAF Champions League first round and of course in the second leg game. Mutebi believes that the home advantage will play a key part in this tie that is delicately poised at 0-0, but he calls for a studious approach against the Angolans that are also itching to make the group stages of the affluent CAF Champions League.
I think with the clubs that we've played on the continent since we got involved in continental football, Petro de Luanda and their neighbors, Tagusto, are the ones who have always given us very, very, very tough. Swan Downs, no. Esperance, no. El Hadi, no. But those two, you see, they have always given us a time. That means that clubs from Angola has always given us headache. So it's not going to be a walk in the park, but in the end, you expect a very good match because these people are coming to attack. They know immediately they score, they have an advantage, you know, and you cannot sit back also and just let it go like that. So in the end, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting match, especially for the coaches. It's going to be on the edge stuff. It's going to be all out attack. Don't be surprised when the game ends 4-2. 4-2. That's what we want. We want to see good football. And good football is punctuated by goals being scored. You see? So it's not going to be a walk in the park. No. We are going to be dressed. They use the ball better than us. No question about that. You know? So, but in the end, I think we have enough. Given the history that you've talked about here at Satyam Stadium, we may have the edge over them.
Still in sports, Uganda Athletics Federation Secretary General and also Uganda Olympic Committee member Beatrice Ayikoro has been elected as International Association of Athletics Federations Council member. In a historic first for a Ugandan, Ayikoro will serve on the 13-member council that is responsible for the conduct and management of the sport of athletics and its disciplines. Speaking to us on phone from Qatar, where this election was held ahead of the 17th World Athletics Championship, Ayikoro is elated and promises to use each opportunity she gets to better athletics in Africa, especially for Uganda. Uganda Athletics Federation President Dominic Otuchet believes that this position is monumental for Uganda because Ayikoro is now at the center of almost all decision-making people. This latest election process at the International Association of Athletics Federation returned Sebastian Coe and opposed as president to serve for the next 4 years. Well, before we sign out, let us look at the weather forecast with Semper Alex Kim.
From the Weather Center only here on UBC TV with Semper Alex Kim. It has been rainfall activities across the country today, but even by 9 a.m. this morning, Arua reported 28.2 millimeters of rainfall, while Kampala reported 12.9 and Kasese reported 8 millimeters of rainfall. This kind of weather is associated to the rain belt being aligned over our region and also an inflow of moist southeasterlies from the Congo forests. Otherwise, tomorrow morning we should see most of the country have chances of some light showers, apart from the southwestern, where we do expect some sunny intervals. Well, into the afternoon, we do expect a continuation of rainfall activities in most parts of the country, apart from the northwestern as well as the eastern and parts of the Lake Victoria Basin. We do expect temperatures to rise to 27 degrees Celsius in Kotido, while in Kitugum we do expect at 29 degrees Celsius, and in Kabale Highlands we are forecasting at 23 degrees Celsius. And if you're planning to travel elsewhere across the globe, you're forecasting for Nairobi chances of rainfall at a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius.